this video, we will discuss risk to reward. Risk management begins here. Industry professionals call it R&R. By the end of this video, you will know what risk to reward is and how to leverage it to make consistent profits in the market and have a positive equity curve that continues to rise regardless of losses that you take while you're trading a series of trades. Let's begin. Now let's go back to the random equity curve. So this is not how we want our equity curve to look like. The randomness here is unsustainable, and we cannot determine or plan where our equity will land. If we find ourselves here in the negative and we bounce up here and then bounce back down here, this is normally the sign of a bad risk management plan with all of the random bounces. The CPT, consistently profitable trader, has a rising equity curve where the wins take care of the losses. There are dips at times, but these are included in the plan because we know as CPTs that we cannot achieve a 100% win rate. This is just a part of our plan. This is a part of what we know that trading is. So how do we achieve this consistently rising equity curve? And if you want to pass a funded challenge, you have to have this type of equity curve. If you want to go from phase 1 to phase 2 to fund it and consistently profit on that funded account, you have to have a equity curve that looks more like this and not like this. So how do we achieve this? So let's talk about risk to reward first. Now, what is risk to reward? Risk to reward is the idea that we understand how much we are risking and we plan how much we are risking per trade and how much we plan to take away from each trade. So here we can risk $100 to make $100, okay? This is risk. We risk 100 and to make 100, okay? That's what risk to reward is. Just identifying and planning out how much you plan to risk per trade and how much you plan to gain per trade. And there's a science to this, and with the proper system, you can become a pro. So this is what we want to talk about here. So there are different ways you can do this. You can risk $100 to make $50, okay? You can risk $100 to make 100. You can risk $100 to make 200. You can risk 100 to make 300. So the idea here is that we don't want to have a negative risk to reward, meaning here we are risking more than we plan to make. You can make money like this, but with the system that I'm going to teach you, most pro traders, I say most because again, you can make money different ways in the market, but most pro traders have agreed in the industry that it's better to aim for a positive risk to reward, meaning that you're at least risking 100 to make 100. But I'm going to urge you to go a step further, okay, even if you're a scalper. So what we want to do first off is have a positive R&R, or a positive risk to reward. And that is done by us risking at least 1-to-1. So in the industry, you'll see risk with the colon and reward like this. This is just an abbreviation of risk to reward. And then you'll see the number 1 here representing money. So oftentimes the actual dollar amount won't be used because the dollar amount can change. But we want to understand that we're risking 1 to make 1. We're risking 1,000 to make 1,000. So in the industry, you have 1-to-1. 1-to-2, 1-to-3, 1-to-4, 1-to-5. So you're risking 1 to make 1, or you're risking 1 to make 2 times that, okay? So we may be risking 100 to make 200. You're risking 1 to make 3 times that. You're risking 1 to make 4 times that amount. Now, here's a visual of it. So in the market, here is a 1-to-1 setup where the red represents the risk, the reward is the green. So most people, when they take trades, when they first start off, they like to have a big space between their entry and their stop loss where they're going to get out of the trade. And oftentimes this is why they have a 1-to-1. But if you look here at 1-to-2, you see it's a smaller distance between the entry and the stop loss here. So this is you're risking 1 less amount to make double. But here, if you go a little bit further, you're risking a smaller amount to make a greater amount. And this is where we want to be. This is the sweet spot for the CPT. I'm going to urge with our system that you can aim for 1-to-3. This is a sweet spot, and I'll show you why in a minute. If we go back to the coin, the loaded coin, which represents our edge. If we trade with a risk to reward of 1 to 3, meaning that when it lands on heads, that's a win, we make 3,000. When it lands on tails, we make we lose 1,000. So if we look at this in a real series with a starting balance of 100,000, if we lose 1,000, we go 99,000, go down to 99,000. We take another loss, we go down to 98,000. We take another loss, we go down to 97,000. That's 3 losses in a row. But when we take a win, that win will take us back all the way to break even where we started. Then if we take another win, we net $3,000 in profit. We lost more than we won here, but we still ended in profit. Just think about this. Do you think that you can take 3 losses and 2 wins? Absolutely. If you're following an edge that has some level of profitability, then all of us can take 3 losses and 2 wins. And if we have a good risk to reward, we'll come out in profit. $3,000 profit, that's a great profit. So challenging you to follow along and begin to adopt the idea that you want to have at least 1 to 3 R&R. Now let's look at it on the other side. What if we have 1 to 1 R&R with the same win rate, with the same amount of wins? We make 1,000 when it lands on heads. We lose 1,000 when it lands on tails. 3 losses, 2 wins, we end up net $1,000 with the same amount of wins, but a different risk to reward. So for me, on my psyche, it's better for me to have a higher R&R because I know that even if I take losses, I will come out on top. And this is the sweet spot for the CPT. That wraps up our discussion on risk to reward and its importance. Now we're going to go into combining risk to reward with a win rate. These two together and understanding how they work together, their relationship, is what will help you become a pro trader. So we're going to get into that in the next video.